Okay, 1787, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score. 9,000 games for opponent, that's very impressive. We're just going to try and challenge for the center. We could stick to our Reti principles, but very flexible opening. Yeah, I'm going to stick to it. I'm just going to develop on the diagonal. The opponent's doing the same thing. So I've just decided what I'm going to do with the bishop. Do we bring the bishop out and this, or do we go this way? Just bring the rook across. We're now preparing a center push later on. Okay. I'm going to bring the bishop up and just see how black wants to react to it. Knight up might become a move. I've got flexibility here. Pawn up, knight across, b3. Lots of different options. None of them are that telling, so it's just a case of how black wants to play this. But knight up could be sensible. Trade, trade. Could even still be sensible now. Take, 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 take. We sacrifice potentially a pawn, but we're going for more rapid development. Now we could play a knight up, or we could develop this knight. Knight up looks a move. Actually, I'm going to go here and bring a pawn across. Move a pawn towards the center if my opponent takes. If they don't, they don't. Okay, they do. So we brought a pawn close to the center. So again, do we really mess the structure up? Takes, takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. You can easily support. And black's got a much better pawn structure, but we can try and strike out in the center. Now that gives us a kind of target. I think rook across looks like a nice move here, just because that bishop has moved. Queen across I don't think is as good, but pawn up, queen down. What's the idea? Maybe just bishop back. Yeah, let's just play a rook across. Queen over might have been a move there, just because we could annoy the knight a little bit, but... We've got to decide what we're going to do with this bishop. What are we going to do with it? I'm actually going to play knight up here, I think. I want to play e4. That's what I'm aiming for. To try and do something about this center. But black, I assume, can counter anywhere. So pawn up now. If you hit the knight, gain a bishop, lose a knight looks fine. If you take, we can take back with the knight, and that looks fine as well. So I'm going to play e4 while I've got a chance and just hope I'm not blundering. Now, does it matter how I take back here? The knight feels like it's the right piece, because we can jump to a nice square if you don't take. Probably good for black to keep the bishop on. If you take, obviously I've got two ways to take back, but if you don't, knight across could be a nuisance, but e5 equally for black could be a nice nuisance move. Okay, so is there any tricks here? Like across, we threaten to take a knight and hit the pawn. Obviously this is going to be coming, but I still like the idea of going here, because I've always got the option to put the knight back to d3. We're just putting gentle pressure on, but we're threatening a potential trade. Takes, takes, knight in if the bishop wasn't on the diagonal, but the pawn's loose as well. So there's issues for both of us. Yeah, comes down and attacks the queen, very logical. I still think bishop up might be a move here, because we're threatening takes. And if rook takes, bishop or queen takes here, so it's still a move. I'm going to play a bishop up. It's not so bad not having your bishop in this structure if your opponent doesn't have the same coloured bishop as well. You know, depending on which side of the board that you're on. So he's come forward, but now have we got a nice sack here with knight takes, or even rook takes. So have we got this? Knight takes, are we getting trapped though? So rook takes, knight takes, queen takes. And we don't have that knockout blow. So knight takes, rook takes, bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes. That seems good. So knight takes seems to be a free pawn because we can just simply come back, right? Is there a nice jump with the knight? So gain a pawn, lose a pawn. I think it's a move, so I'm going to play it. I might be wrong. If I'm blundering, I'm blundering. I think it's a pawn, so I'm going to play it. But takes here, I think I simply take the knight back and then I'm still guarding my knight with the bishop and the rook. Otherwise, I'm just simply threatening knight back to c5 and just trying to claim that we've grabbed a free pawn. Hope that we've grabbed a free pawn. But I don't think black saw that coming. I don't think so. But it's like anything in chess, you know. You can miss any move in any position in any game of chess. The original idea behind this was to undermine the knight so that this pawn is then weak because it's an obvious target, which obviously you can deal with any time. So he does actually take back. So I think we just take the knight here. If I take first, then you're actually guarding the knight. So I just think we take the knight and then take back here. And now we've got an immediate target to hit the pawn with the rook. We can drop the bishop back to g2. And it feels like we've just gained a pawn. So he's played rook forward, logical. But is that a problem if we just take? I'm not sure it is. Because we can just grab this pawn, right? Take if you go this way, bishop back, trade, queen comes in. Maybe it is a problem. So what about just simply taking here first? We lose this bishop, right? So that's no good. So I think we just drop the bishop back. Go on the side of caution and hope we've just gained one pawn and now reset. Now trading the rook is a bit more of a threat. A little bit more of a threat, depending on how these next move or two pan out. See, rook takes, I'll take back with a queen. Bishop takes, take back with a king. Oh, have I just blundered? Bishop takes, take with a king. You've got queen check. I'm lucky that I've got queen and rook that guard. I could have blundered there. That's the type of move that's really easy to miss, and he's seen it. So I probably have to take here first, so I might have lost this pawn. Here, check back. I'm lucky that it's covered. I'm lucky that it's covered. It's so easy to miss that, isn't it? That extra tactic. I can just step back though. Now if I block here, you can take the rook and that loses on the spot, so I have to step back. Now it's fine to trade. And we still hit this pawn. But it's so incredibly easy not to see that extra move ahead. Okay. And maybe I can do the same thing here and get behind my rook. Yeah, I'm going to stack the rook and try and get behind. Maybe queen up and then behind. Pawn down, maybe I've got bishop up and across, I'm not sure. He's taken. So we could completely undouble our pawns here, but I quite like this structure. I think bringing the pawn in over, it's kind of okay for all this. What is it? Here. Push, trade. Yeah, I'm going to bring it in over. It might be the wrong pawn, that it might be. A pawn down, I think I can just drop back. And we still got a pawn to challenge the outer pawn. Queen up is a move now to threaten this one. Bishop in and here. Might be good if we get a chance. Even bishop e5 now to try and remove this bishop, but not easy. We're only one single pawn up, aren't we? And level on the clock just about. Excuse me. Okay, so bishop up is a move but doesn't really achieve anything. So I like bishop here. See if we provoke a pawn push. I quite like that just as a move and as a concept, so I'm just going to play that fairly quickly. Okay, he's come across. I think pawn forward here seems like a good move now. If you push, we've got the option to trade, but we clamp on this, don't we? Let's push forward. They're on dark squares, so they are a target for the bishop. I can try and unwind my position. How do I do it? Maybe queen up to put pressure here. Queen across feels like a mistake. What's his idea here? I don't quite see. Let's give the queen a better square. We guard this pawn. We free up the rook. We can drop the bishop back to challenge this bishop. Yeah, right in the middle of the board. We're not really on a great square now that that bishop has moved. Well, he's pushed us back, so that's kind of like an only move just about. Goes back. So what do we do with this bishop? I'm not quite sure. Queen back now, threatening a check would be very good to get the queen off. Push forward, takes, takes, bishop takes. Hold on, is that a mistake then here? Take, take, bishop takes, you can take, and I can't take back, so we don't want to go here in one move, but we like the concept of a queen trade. Let's come across them threatening a check. If you push now, I'm okay to take and offer a queen trade. My queen's guarded. It feels like a tight position. If the queens come off, it's easier for us to play and try and maintain our advantage. But in engine language, we might not actually have an advantage, of course, but we are up a pawn. We're both level on the clock, so a lot of time has vanished. The king's gotten out of the way, logical. I still like queen up here to try and come in. So queen up, down, take, pawn takes. Yeah, actually it doesn't work brilliantly well, does it? We need more of a holding move, but I don't really have any. Queen up, down, take, pawn takes. I guess we just simply drop the bishop back and it's still alright, I think. Queen here, don't like that. Do I get really bold? But no, I'm going to go here. I want the queen off the board. I think we'll see e5, and it's whether I take and bring this pawn up, but then the position really explodes open. But bishop back to try and hold d4 at some point. Yeah, that's what's happened. That's what I expected, so we'll take. We'll come back, guard the pawn. We might have to go a little bit defensive now. Queen back is still a move. Rook at right across might be a move. If you ever push, we've got bishop d4. Queen up might be a move to attack the pawn. So we've got lots of options. I just don't know which the best one is. Rook across and you're walking into diagonal issues, potential issues. Right, rook's gone across, so queen up seems logical now, just to simply attack the pawn. So I'm going to play that. There's no easy infiltration for the queen here. You can come here, I guess, but maybe king forward is okay, excuse me. But we're having a 2-on-1 attack with the pawn right now. 2 attack, 1 defend. Right, now he's gone a little bit more defensive. Can't we just simply take there anywhere? Yeah. I think we just grab the pawn, so I think we take it. Now we're 2 pawns up. Whether it's 2 winning pawns remains to be seen, but here I can just come across. Here, I assume I just come back and try and hold the position. I could go here, of course. I like the idea of just coming back and releasing the rook somewhere. There's one loose pawn. If one falls, another could fall, but we could do this sort of idea to guard down. We've still got bishop up. Yeah, that's where he's gone. Is there actually a threat here, though? If you take, check, and you have to block. So we've got a 1-move threat. It's easy to miss there. With a check, you have to block with a bishop. So he's seen it and pushed up. So again, check up here. There's no immediate knockout, is there? But we could go here now. Takes, and that should be good. That's got to be good. If we can swap a bad pawn for a really good pawn and suddenly get a passed pawn, it should be good for us. This is still guarded. Get the king on the light square. Okay, so bishop up. Now, has he just made a mistake, a crucial mistake? Here. I guess we can go here. If bishop takes, we've got this. Now, we need our king up, don't we? But king needs to be up. If rook takes, we're fine to just trade and we just push our pawn. The bishop takes, you're walking into a pin. So this should be very good for us. Just push the pawn. I don't see how you're going to be able to stop it. Not whilst looking after the other pawns as well. I don't think that you can stop everything. Eventually we'll be able to get our king out. They're all on dark squares though, so there is a slight issue. Very, very slight. But you can imagine pawn up and bishop up. It should be winning. Yeah, so that's what he's gone for there. But we just simply take. My opponent could see the concept there. But we just grab the pawn and drop the bishop back here. So it's all winning now, barring horrible mishaps, just bishop up. But you can see how easy it is just to make a simple blunder somewhere and lose a game like this. And I would lose a shed load of points. I got a whole 1 rating point for that. And if my own opponent only loses 1, so they've got nothing to lose. So good effort, well done. So we pause so we don't accidentally start another game. We've played 45 moves. They're the move times for both players there. So let's request an analysis. It seemed to be working all right yesterday. This a couple of days we've had a bit of issues with it not running okay in a few games, but it seemed to work okay yesterday. But I don't normally use it very many times in any given day. Let's see what we've actually played. Okay, it is progressing there. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck. It looks weird that, doesn't it, sometimes? It's done a bit at the front of the game as well as the end of the game. Looks a little bit weird when you see it like that sometimes. Yeah, so we've made mistakes here. That's when you can tell when it goes up and down. So a lot of little mistakes going up and down all the way through, but we've basically been level or better pretty much the whole entire game. Just with some mistakes here and there. So there's a little mistake here from +2 to plus 0.2 to minus 0.2. So what was that? Just a natural development move, knight c3. I was deliberately going for that structure to bring a pawn into the center, so that's not really anything too bad. Or what were the figures? 93% versus 89% accuracy. CPL is 21 and 38. No bad blunders either player. We've just got less small mistakes than our opponent. So here, we're better in this position. And then we do have some sort of mistake. Oh, we missed g4 and a chance to maybe trap the bishop. I don't see how you actually get the bishop, because surely f5 and h5 are going to come. But the engine's saying g4 there. That's a bit of a bold move to have to play, isn't it? Yeah, even though I know that now, if I repeat this game again, I'll still probably be reluctant to play g4 in a position like that. That seems a bit odd. That's just engine language for you. And then in this position, what did we do wrong? Oh, bishop d6 was a move. And see, I knew bishop d6 was a move. I mentioned it, I think. But I thought you could just simply push on, but actually there must be a better concept to it. Just play bishop d6. It just gives your opponent a chance to blunder, of course. But it is actually a good move there. So this is the engine line. It just says a5, or then attack with h4. But if you don't see the whole entire line, obviously, unless you don't see all of the moves, you just don't play the move at all. That's often the case with a lot of lines, but that's the engine line for that move. But otherwise, by this point, we're now, what, plus 2.4 better. It was just a steady game, just building a gradual advantage, collecting them extra pawns. And in the end here, there wasn't really much to be done. See, plus 8 better. No real way to stop the pawn. So we converted it pretty well, but good effort by opponent. Well done.